Mark Pope added one of the best players in the ACC to the 25-26 roster. Pittsburgh's Jaland Lowe committed to the Kentucky Wildcats back on April 5th. The 6'3" Lowe was named All-ACC Third Team this past season after posting per-game averages of 16.8 points, 5.5 assists, 4.2 rebounds, and 1.8 steals in 35.4 minutes as a sophomore. The Texas native shot 37.6% from the field, 26.6% from deep, and 88.6% from the free throw line. KSR's Brandon Ramsey has gone through a ton of film on Jaland Lowe. Brandon, why do you think Kentucky fans should be excited about this addition?
Jaland Lowe brings a different level of dynamic playmaking than anybody that we saw on Kentucky's team last season. That's certainly not to disparage Lamont Butler or anybody else that was playing minutes for Kentucky, but Lowe has a burst, a level of athleticism, again, that dynamic playmaking ability that really nobody else had for the Wildcats last season. He's going to be able to create help by getting 2 feet into the paint and drawing defenders to him. He's excellent in pick and roll situations, attracting multiple defenders towards him, even though he's not an outstanding three-point shooter. He can get downhill in a hurry. He's really shifty with the ball and then slippery as he gets in there towards the rim, and then he can explode and finish up around the rim with some creative layups and a really creative finishing package in that at rim and intermediate range. He's also, not only is he a super high assist guy, he also was pretty high in steal rate. He's not Lamont Butler in terms of on-ball disruptiveness, but he does kind of cause some havoc both on and off of the ball. He's going to be a player that there is some high risk, high reward to what he does. He's going to take some bad shots probably. He's going to turn it over maybe just a hair too much at times when he's trying to make a play, but it's always going to come from a place of aggressiveness with Jaland Lowe, and also lead to some big time highlight reel type of plays. And one of the things I talked about, this was even before Jaland Lowe committed to Kentucky, but I thought, if you're trying to talk down a guy that's proven, I mean, he was a all-ACC performer, and you can make your jokes about the ACC this year, but still, this guy was a top 15, top 20 player in one of the 5 best conferences in college basketball. That means something still. And for all the ball knowers online that like to get really excited about these niche, low major, mid major guys, and those are great players. Here's a guy that's proven it at one of the highest levels of college basketball.
Now, of course, one of the things being talked about online with Jaland is his three-point shooting percentage. Brandon, how concerned should we be with that?
And yes, the three-point shooting numbers, they stick out. He was 26.6% from three-point range last year, and that's not going to cut it. However, there's a few reasons for some optimism that can progress this next season. First of all, his form is fine. Like there's not some major structural issue with the way he shoots the basketball. Secondly, he is an outstanding free throw shooter, 88.6% on high volume, over 5 attempts per game this past season as a sophomore at Pittsburgh, 88.6%. Generally speaking, a good indication of whether or not a shooter can improve from three-point range is what they do at the free throw line. He's an elite free throw shooter. That leads me to believe that he can become a much better three-point shooter. And then also, he was the hub of everything Pittsburgh did offensively. He was a very, very high usage player, and he's simply not going to be asked to do as much at Kentucky. So when you go back to Jaland Lowe's freshman year at Pittsburgh, he made 35 threes at about 36%. I think that that's the sweet spot for him. Last year, he shot like 150 of them and only made 41 because he's having to take really, really tough shots. But yeah, he was 31 of 88 in 33 games as a freshman. I think he can probably find a happy medium there in terms of volume. Like I really think that Jaland Lowe is a guy that can make 43s at 35% this next season. That's all Kentucky needs him to be when he's a guy that can average 4, 5, 6 assists per game with what he can do, especially in a wide open offensive scheme like Kentucky can play.
I guess it's probably safe to assume Jaland's going to be the starting point guard.
I think this is absolutely your day one, PG1 at Kentucky, and I think that Big Blue Nation should be very excited about adding a proven high major player to run the point going forward in Jaland Lowe.
And of course, with more additions coming, we'll have more breakdowns to get to for this 25-26 roster, which is shaping up to be pretty special. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.